How are you doing today? I have an amazing story that comes from this Bible. Today I thought I'd do something a little different and I'd just read it from the Bible. This is the story of Jesus. Jesus as a little boy, and he got lost in the temple. They could not find him anywhere. Are you guys ready to hear my story? All right. Jesus lived with his parents in Nazareth. When he was 12 years old, his parents took him to Jerusalem for the celebration of Passover. I'm going to read this too because I want you to know what Passover is. Passover is a very important Jewish festival, and a Jewish festival is something that God's people would do. Jewish people were God's people. It celebrates the night God freed his people from Egypt. We've heard about that story before. By this time, people had been celebrating Passover for over 1,000 years. Wow, they went over to the Passover festival. That's so cool. Every year, the Jews celebrated Passover to remember the time when Moses had led the Israelites out of Egypt, where they had been slaves. Here's my picture for the next one. You see all the people coming. After the celebration in Jerusalem, Mary and Joseph, Jesus' parents, left the city to go back home. Well, they were traveling in a huge group of people, so they thought that Jesus was going back with some other people. But when they looked for him the next day, they could not find him anywhere. Jesus was lost. And Joseph turned around and went back to Jerusalem. For 3 whole days, they looked for Jesus. He was lost, but they found him. Do you know where Jesus was? Jesus was in the temple. He was with some teachers. Now, these teachers taught the law of Moses and the tradition of the elders. They talked about all of what Moses had done in Egypt and for the Israelites, how they went to the promised land. That's what they were talking about. It took a long time to master all the details, but Jesus knew all of them already. He knew because he was God's son. He was listening to the teachers and asking them questions. The teachers were surprised at how much the boy knew. But why did he know it all? Because he was God's son, of course. Mary and Joseph were very scared. They came up to him. "Why have you done this to us?" Mary asked. "We thought you were lost. We looked everywhere for you." Jesus answered, "Why did you have to look for me? Didn't you know that I would be in my Father's house with the teachers talking about what God did?" Jesus was talking about his Father God, of course, but his parents didn't understand. Jesus went back with them to Nazareth, and he became wise and grew strong, and God was pleased with him. That is an amazing story. Okay, was Jesus really lost? No, he was not. He told his parents, "Why were you so worried? Why did you think I was lost? I was in my Father's house." He was at church, basically. Back then, the teachers in the temple, that was church. He was at church. He was talking to the teachers. He was asking questions and telling them everything that he knew about God. He loved talking about God. He loved God, his Father, and he told everybody about it. It's amazing. It's so cool that this story is in the Bible. This is one of the only stories in the Bible about how Jesus was a kid, when Jesus was a kid. But it's such an important one because it shows us how perfect Jesus was. He wasn't disobeying his parents. He wasn't trying to get lost. He was being obedient to God. He was telling the people, telling the teachers all about God. That is something that we should do too. We should tell everyone about God. Jesus loved God, and he showed how much he loved God by the way that he acted, and the way that he spoke, and the way that he told everybody about God. He was amazing, and we can be just like him. Do you tell people about God? Jesus is our example. We should be just like him. He was only 12 years old, and that's a little young. But that means that we can do it too when we're young. We can tell everybody about God. It's amazing. It's so great. Thank you so much for coming and learning today about the story of Jesus as a boy in the temple. I had so much fun learning with you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!